We must have seen lots of people talking about Linux, and they often refer Linux as an operating system, but it's not. So what is Linux? So Linux by itself is just a kernel. Like we human beings have got a heart, and we don't call our heart uh, a human body. Likewise, even we can't call a kernel an operating system. So it's just one part, one crucial part of the operating system. So, however, Linux can be generally divided into three major components, which are the kernel, the environment, and the file structure. So these three components basically forms a very basic operating system, and let's see what they are. So the kernel, it's a core program that runs programs and manages hardware devices such as disks and peripherals. So if we have lots of components, hardware components inside our machine, so the kernel will be interacting with them and will manage them. So it does all the low level work and the crucial work. The environment, so basically environment provides us an interface, and it receives the commands from us, the users, and sends those commands to the kernel for execution. So let's say I'm typing a command and pressing enter, so that interface which was provided by the environment, and further it sends those commands to the kernel for execution, for processing, and finally the output. What about the file structure? So file structure basically organizes the way data is stored inside the storage device, such as a disk. So if we have a hard drive, we can have lots of directories, and lots of directories can further have lots of files inside them. So the way these files and directories are managed is done by the file structure. So just to recap, Linux is just a kernel and not an operating system by itself. If we have to call Linux an operating system, then we have to include GNU slash prior to Linux. So GNU refers to all the softwares which have GNU license, and together with Linux kernel, it forms an operating system. So if we are talking about the GNU softwares plus Linux, it's an operating system, while Linux itself is not. Hi everybody, welcome to the video series of Linux tutorial. In the coming videos, we will be learning about terminal, which is integral part of Linux. So what's a command line interface or shell? So before learning about it, we should know what are the kinds of interfaces available in operating systems. So there are two types of interfaces. First one is graphical user interface. We call it GUI, and CLI, command line interface. So graphical user interfaces are fairly easy to use. It has made usage of computer very easy. So even an amateur can learn it in matter of hours maybe. So this is a screenshot which is taken from an operating system called Maverick, which is macOS operating system. So as you can see, there are lots of icons, and each icon represents a application. So whenever you will click on any of these, then the corresponding application will open. So some examples of GUI based operating systems are Windows XP, 7, Ubuntu, Debian. So Debian has both CLI based interface as well as GUI based. And then there is Snow Leopard, Maverick, Mountain Lion, which are Mac based. So about command line interfaces, there is a learning curve to it. You need to understand basic nuances of what is CLI, what are the different commands available, then we need to explore them. We need to read their manual about the does how to use them optimally. Okay, also you can create your own command by writing a bash script for it. So it's a very fast and powerful way to interact with machine. Back in the days of 1980s, there was only CLI, and people used to interact with machine using the CLI only. Also, thousands of combinations are possible through pipelining of output of one command into another, which makes command line interfaces very powerful. Some examples of command line interfaces are Unix, MS-DOS, which is entirely CLI based. Then there, then the terminal, which is inside Linux, is also example of CLI. There are operating systems like Arch Linux, Debian, which have installer in purely non-GUI or CLI based. So this is a sample video of how we use terminal. So this is a black screen, which black screen with white text, which is a typical CLI based window. And as you can see, this is the ls, which is a command, and it shows all the files and directories of particular directory. ls-al is the parameter, -al is a parameter which adds more features or data into the command. So what we are trying to do is we are listing down all the files and folders in particular directory, and then we are redirecting output of one command into a file. So we are saving the output of ls-al into dir.txt. So dir.txt is created now, and vi is the editor. So now all the output of ls-al was sent to dir.txt, which we saw through vi.dir.txt. Just to make it clear, we should watch it again. And this is the output. This is the output, and now greater than is the redirection symbol. So the output is redirected, and while typing dir.txt, we are actually seeing the output which was saved in the file. And this is how we redirect and use terminal. So in coming videos, we'll be learning about various commands available in Linux by default. Products are usually shipped with manual books, and the reasons why they carry manuals are to get acquainted with the product, to know how to do self-help while facing problems. Likewise, even Linux commands has got manuals for their commands, which enables user to get familiar with the command and to know how to use it properly. So how to access these manuals in Linux? All you need to do is just type man followed by the command name for which you want to see manual entry. So let's say we are looking for cat, and it will display the manual entry. So this is how it looks like. It's completely text based since we are using terminal. So as it says, BST General Commands Manual. It has a few heads which are name, synopsis, description, exit status, examples. See also standards. So we will just try to understand what they are. So name basically tells you the name of the command for which you are seeing the manual. Also what it does in very brief. So cat, what it does is it concatenates and prints file. Synopsis, it tells you how the command will be written or will be used. So command is separated by the options and then separated by the files. So BENSTUV are independent options. So either they can be individually used or can be clubbed with each other depending on their compatibility. So in under description, the details of the command will be written. So as you can see, the cat command, what it does is it reads files sequentially and writes them to the standard output. And then description about the options. So like -b, it represents number, the non-blank output lines starting at 1. So it basically appends numbers proportional to the line. So let's say if we have 5 lines, so the line will be started with 1 2 3 4 5. So let's start knowing it by just doing, and as we can see, that file had only one line, and we can see one written in the beginning. If we will not include -b, then only the content will be outputted, not the number of line or line number. Then we can see exit status, which only means that if um, the command has been successfully run or there was some error occurred. Then examples. So what are the ways by which we can use the command? So let's say if we will just type cat file name, it will just show us what file contains. And we have second example over here, which means that value of, let's say, 2 files can be moved to another file. So now what happened was content of t1.txt and t2.txt are copied to sduf.txt. So we will just see what this file contains is it contains 2 lines. First line is from the t1 file and second line is from t2 file. Then we have another example. So basically it contains all the examples. Then C also shows us what are the similar commands like cat. So here we can see head, more, pr. These are somehow related to or similar to the cat command. And then a brief history about the cat command. As it says, the cat usually appeared in version 1 AT&T Unix. So this is how we access manuals of the Linux commands. So when we are sort of new in Linux domain, ideally first thing we should do is to refer to the manual page of every command which we will be going to use, so that we know the best practices of usage of the commands. So this is one of the most important command in Linux or any Nix based operating system for that matter. Hi, in this video we'll be learning about the command ls. So ls command is used for listing down the directory contents. So let's start with reading the manual page of ls command. Just type man followed by the command ls. So it will show you the contents. So under the name it shows it lists directory contents. So, and in synopsis there are quite a few options available. So let's see. And in description it says, for each operand that names a file of a type other than directory, ls displays its name as well as any requested associated information. So by requested and associated information, we mean the date of modification, or maybe the file permissions, or who is the owner of that file,
what is the location of that file. So these are the associated information of any particular file or folder. So for reading it, we need to use any of these parameter. So these parameters, every parameter does a specific function. So let's read which one will be beneficial for our work. So let's say we want to find a hidden file. So for that we'll be using -a, because -a says include directory entries whose name begins with a dot, and any file which is prefixed by a dot will be a hidden file. It won't be visible when we are just typing ls. It will be showed only when ls is followed by a hyphen a, the smaller a. Hyphen capital A does the opposite thing. It will show you every file except the one which has dot or double dot. Also, there is this so if you want to, there are lots of parameters available, and let's read about -l, which is list in long format. So it will show you the total sum of all the file sizes, and then it will show you important details like what are the different permissions available for a particular file, then who is the owner of the file, what is the size of the file, and data modification of that file, which will be very useful for us. And obviously we can experiment with these parameters whenever you want. -R is used for recursively listing down the subdirectories which are encountered during the searching. -S is used for sorting files by size. So let's see how it goes. So just type ls. It will show you all the directories available which we created, and we will learn how to create these directories. So just type ls and it will show you the normal directories. Type ls-l, it will show you the details. So these are the different permissions available for particular file or folder. And then we have the username, then the group name, and then the date of modification, and followed by the name of the file or folder. ls-al will show you the hidden files if there are any hidden file. As of now, there are no hidden files except these which are randomly created. -a.ds underscore store is a hidden file, as it wasn't visible over here, but it is visible over here, and it is followed by a single dot, which means it is a hidden file. So if you want to test it further, then we can just create a new file. So vi is the editor, and just type vi followed by the file name. So hidden. So just type in anything, just save the file, and now it will be visible in the listing thing. Okay, so it isn't visible because we use the wrong parameters. So just type in something using w wq, which means write and quit. So now it will be visible. So it should be there, and it is here, hidden file. So whenever someone is trying to hide the files in Unix systems, then it is very easy to find them just by typing ls-al. So we'll be exploring more parameters, more options in next videos. In next video. Thank you for watching the video. In next video, we'll be learning about the command mkdir, which is used for creating a new directory. Hi, welcome to the Linux tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be learning about the command mkdir, which is used for creating a new directory. So generally in web-based systems, what we do is we just right click and then create a new folder in multiple operating systems like Windows, Mac. So when we are using CLI based operating systems or CLI, then we will be using the command mkdir. So let's read the man command, manual page of mkdir. Yeah, so it makes directories, and there are a few parameter -pv, and then different modes are there. So -p is used for creating intermediate directories. So if you want to create a directory A and inside it you want to create directory B, then you can just type mkdir followed by -p followed by A slash B. So B will be created inside A, and even A will be created. So A will be created first and then B will be created. So and -v is verbose, which means it will show you the progress of how the processes are going on, and it will be very interesting to see that. So in suggestion there is rm directory, which is used for deleting the directory. So let's use mkdir. So let's say if you want to create a directory try1, it's created. It's very easy. Now let's try to create multiple directory at once. So just type TIR, TRI1, TRI2, TRI3, TRI4, TRI5. So now 5 directories are created. Yeah, so we can see multiple directories. We faced a problem, an error showed up over here, which is because try1 was already created. So it ignored the first one, but it continued with the rest of them. So now we have 5 different directories. So let's try to create a directory inside try1. So let's type mkdir, and further we will be creating another one inside tri. So let's see, we have -pv and then try1, and then we want to create abc, and then we want to create def. So now when we will go inside try1, then it will show abc, and when we will go inside def, then it will show def. So -pv is very useful when we want to create higher directories in hierarchy. Okay, so this was fairly easy command to use. Thank you for watching the video. In the next video we'll be learning about rm command, which is used for removing the directory. Hi, welcome to the being skilled Linux tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be learning about the command rm, which is used for removing the files, the folders. So let's start with the man page. So just type in the name of the command. So rm will show. So the manual page of rm will show up. So it says it remove directory entries. So -d attempts to remove directories as well as other type of files. -f is used for, so it attempts to remove the files without prompting for confirmation regardless of the file's permission, which can be used secondly. And then we have -r, which is used for removing the directories. Generally it will ask for -r if you are trying to remove the directory through rm. Then -v is verbose, which shows the processes going on step by step. So let's try removing some files. So let's say if you want to remove hi, which is a directory, it's a directory, so it can't be removed. So let's know how do we get to know about any folder of any file that it is a directory. So in permissions, every directory will be prefixed by a D. So as you can see, we have dir here, then it means that it is a directory, and these all are directories. So these can't be removed just by typing rm followed by the folder name. They will be removed if you are using rm-r then multiple, and it will be removed. Also, what you can do is if you want to remove multiple, since it is removed, it won't show up. So just type of. So now in this, we remove two directories, new and off. And if you want to see the processes going on, then we will just type in -v, which is verbose, which is used for showing up the processes going on. So let's type hi and then is. So it is showing that the hi is created, then is deleted. So these all are deleted. So let's see what all we are left with. We removed many folders, and if you want to remove everything inside this, then just type in so now we are left with nothing because we used a wildcard. So what we used is rm the command name, then -r, which is used for removing directories, and then it will show the processes going on, and then // which means inside the current folder, star means everything. So if you want to make statement out of it, it will be like remove every file and folder inside this folder in which we are currently in, and show me the processes going on. So line by line, it is showing that this time creating has been deleted. Now directories is deleted, then this is deleted, and then try 5 is deleted, and then we is deleted, and in the end we are left with nothing at all except the hidden files. So if you want to remove the hidden file, just type rm and then file name, and even that will be removed. So it's fairly easy to use, and it's one of the most efficient command because you can use multiple directories at once, so it saves your time. Thank you for watching the video. Hi, welcome to the next tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be learning about the command RMDIR, which is used for removing the directory. Besides that, there is another way to remove the directory, which is to use rm-r. So let's study RMDIR for a while. So let's start with the manual page. So it shows it removes directory specifically. And then there is -p again, which is used for removing the one which are inside a folder. So each directory argument is treated as a path name of which all components will be removed if they are empty, starting with the last most component. So it will start with the last last directory which is there inside a particular directory. So let's study it. Yeah. So let's list down what all are available. So by the way, this is the correct way of using cd. So it is used for changing the directory, and cd followed by two dots. So there is a space between two dots. Blue shows one space. Yeah. So let's remove try 1 and then further try 2. Let's remove try 2, try 3, try 4. Yeah, and they are removed. So we only have left with try 1 and try 5. Yeah, and let's remove. I don't know if this PV is valid because PV wasn't mentioned in the man page, so it is not valid. So directory is not empty. So we need to remove the child first, and alrighty. So let's see what we are left with. So it's removed in its entirety by using this command. So it removed each of these, which is interesting. Yeah. So if we will try to delete normal file using this command, then it will not work. So RMDIR is specifically for removing the directories, not the files, not the flat files. Thank you for watching the video. In the next video, we will be learning about the command rm, which is used for removing any sort of files or directories.
Hi, welcome to Being Skills Linux tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be learning about a command called top command. So what it does is it shows you what are the processes going on in your machine. So the output can vary. So many of the Linux tutorial will show you the current processes which are going on. In macOS, um, terminal shows you many other things like uptime of the computer. Besides that, how much RAM is being used. So like it has 4000 MB, but currently it is using about 3678 MB. Then networks, how many packets have been transferred so far, and disk, like how many gigabytes of data has been read and written. So every process has its unique
ID, which is PID, and it is followed by the command name, percentage of the CPU which the command is using right now, time for which it has been running, then memory usage of the particular command. So these are kind of critical things to know. So in case you want to stop some service, just type kill and then kill followed by PID. So let's say if you want to delete, if you want to kill the command MD worker, then we will type kill space 8599. So that command will be killed. It is used for stopping some service, for saving some RAM space, so that we can open another software which will be consuming some RAM. We will be discussing this command in detail in following videos. Thank you for watching the video.
This tutorial we will explore the root of Linux. So what does Linux based operating system is consist of? So now we will just go to the root folder, which is just open the terminal, type cd space slash, and it will take us to the root, and these folders are inside the root. So let's just check if we are really inside root. So just type pwd and it shows slash, which represents root. So it has got nothing beneath it. It is the root, it is the ground surface, and everything is located over that root. So now we will just type ls space -al, and it will show us all the files and folders available or located on the root. Now to start with, we will go inside bin folder, which contains all the binaries which are located, important binaries inside the operating system. So just cd into it, just type cd space bin folder, and yes, it shows us all the files, all the binary files which are located inside this operating system. So just to see details of them, just type ls space al. So it shows us file permissions and everything. So now to start with, we can start bash. So what we'll do is we will just try to understand the most frequently used binaries or commands in Linux in the first phase, and in second phase we will just try to go deeper into more complicated commands or bit unusual commands. So let's start with so bash is kind of frequently used. Then we have cat, which is for making very simple document, a text file rather. Then we have change group, which is used for changing the group of any file or folder. We have chmod, which is for changing the file permissions. So in case you want to change the permission of execution, read, write, then you can use that. If you want to change the owner of any file or folder, then you will use chon or own. cp is for copying some data in some location, or changing the name of it, or creating duplicate files out of it. Then we have date, which displays the current date. We have dd, we have df. dir is for listing files and folders located within this operating system or current folder which we are currently in. And then we have echo, which is for printing some data on screen. Then we have grep, which is used for finding some kind of word or expression within any file. So in case we are looking for some complex data string and the file is quite large, let's say it has got thousands of lines, then we can use graph to find that expression within that file. We have host name to know the name of the host of the particular machine, to identify it easily on the network. Then we have less for knowing the contents of the file. ln is for creating link of a file. So in case you want to create some kind of shortcut, then you will create a link. So presumably this represents a link. It has got L at the start. D represents the directory. Then we have ls, which again works like dir. It basically lists down all the files and folders located within that folder which you are currently in. Then we have mkdir, which is for creating any directory. Then we have mount. It is basically used for mounting any file system on any mount point. Then we have nano, which is very simple text editor used for creating some text document in minutes. Very easy to use. MV is for moving one file into another location, and if you really want to rename any file, then you will use MV. So just type MV space original file name space the new file name, and it will happen. Then we have netstat, which is used as a network utility. So basically it shows you all the machines which are currently connected. Then we have which shows the location of any command. So let's say we are typing which space youname, so it basically shows us what is the location of that particular command, because every command is a file and every file must be located somewhere. So it shows us the location. So predominantly every binary or every command is located either inside bin folder or sbin, as a secure bin. And then we have tar, which is very frequently used archiving utility. So it works just as rar or zip. It basically zips down or compresses lots of content into single archive, and it's fairly easy to use. Then we have touch, which is again used for creating a very simple text document. Then we have RM, which is used for removing any file or folder. So in case you're trying to remove any folder, you have to press -R. So if you really want to delete any file, just use RMDIR, which is specifically for deleting any directory. PWD is used for knowing the current path inside the terminal. So in case you have lost your way and you really want to know where you are currently in, so in which directory you are currently in, so in that case you will be using PWD. So it will show us the current location. Here we have SU. What it does is it basically helps you in logging into any root account. So let's say you have logged in using some default user in Linux, or rather Debian based Linux operating system. Now to get into root, you just type su and then press enter, and it will just ask for the root password, and once you enter it, it will take you to the root account. So now there is another approach to it, which is to use sudo with every command. So let's say you want to give root privilege to a command, let's say wget. Now if you want to do that, just type sudo space the command name, and it will ask for the password, and once you will enter the password, the command will run with root privileges. Here's one drawback of this approach, which is you have to do it repeatedly. So let's say you have to use 5 commands with root privileges. So then you have to type sudo redundantly for each and every command. So this will take a while to do that. So just to make it default, use su and just enter the password, log into your root account, and um, you can do it for n number of commands. So that's how we do it. When we generally use the root account, we are very cautious about its usage. You don't remove any file without any due diligence. Discussed till yet were most frequently used commands, and in the following videos we will be exploring the very uncommon commands like sync, tailf, and all sorts of commands. Hi, there might be times when we want to know more about the processor we have in our system. So, by information of any processor, we mean what kind of model it has, what kind of number of cores, processing power, flags it has. So, just to know more about it, we have to go to terminal and then we have to use cat space slash proc slash CPU info. So when we will press enter, it will show us details. It will show us processor detail, then the vendor. So in case it's made by Intel, then it will show us genuine Intel, or else it can show us AMD or any other processor manufacturer. Then the model name, then the model. So here we have Core i7 2635QM CPU at 2 GHz. Then the CPU megahertz is about 2007. Then cache size is about 6 MB, and other necessary details which can be used at different instances. Flags is very important because when we are talking about virtualization or such services, then there are very specific flags which are to be present in the processor in order to support those kind of services. So here we can see these are the flags which are supported by this specific processor. So all we need to know is if we have certain service like virtualization, then what kind of flags it requires, and then we will match up with this information. So in case those flags are present in this processor, then it means that those kind of services are supported by this processor, else they are not. Thank you for watching the video. Hi, in this video, we will understand what does cal command do. So we will just type cl and it will display the current month's calendar. Now, if we want to see calendars of previous months or next a few months, then for that we need to use some options. So just to know more about this command, we will open the man page. So to read more about it, we will open manual, and it says it displays a calendar and the date of Easter. So right now we are concerned about the calendar, and it's a utility which displays a simple calendar in traditional format and non-graphical format or mode. Now if we want to display calendar of entire month, entire year, then we can use -y, and we can try using -3, which is to display the current month and immediate previous and next months. So let's try using those. We will type cal -3, and it shows immediate previous and immediate next commands, months. So we can see February, we can see March, and we can see April. Now if you want to see calendar of, let's say, year 2011, it will show you entire calendar of 2011.
Now if you want to see years, calendar of year, let's say 1900, to show you that, or let's be futuristic, see, let's say 2050, and now it is showing us the calendar. So this is how we see calendar of any specific year by using cal space -y space year's name or year's number. Now we will use -a, which is for displaying calendar of the current month and following months. So if we mention A6, it means that it will display 6 months, all the months from the current month. So current month is March, and it will display as April, May, June, July, August, and September. Now if you want to see calendar of previous 6 months, then you will use -b6 for that, and you can change it to 3, you can change it to 50 or 20, anything you want. Hi, in this video we will understand what does hostname command do. So when we are talking about any network, we have lots of machines on it. So to communicate with any of these machines, we need to know either the host name or the IP address of that machine just to communicate with them. So when we are on any Linux or Unix system, we have a command called hostname, which displays the hostname of any particular command. So just to know more about this command, we will open the manual page, and it says shows or sets the hostname, system's hostname. Also we have lots of options or parameters for the same, which is -v, -a, alias, -d, domain, -f, -A, -I. So just to see what exactly they do, so -a basically displays the alias name of the host. -b sets the host name, while -d displays the name of the DNS domain. One of the very frequently used option is -i, which basically displays the IP address of the host name or the machine. So let's start knowing it. Just type hostname -i, and it is showing the IP address. So this is how we got to know about IP address of any machine. Hi, welcome to the Linux tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be exploring really interesting command, which is uptime. So what is uptime? So suppose you have been running a system for a few days or months. That's how long servers typically run. So to know more about for how long the machine has been running, you can use a command called uptime. What it does is it tells you exactly for how long the system has been running, how many users are currently logged in, and what is the average load on the system. So lesser the load, better it is, and its performance will. And it also shows you the current time. So we can see the current time is 12:24, and it has been up for 21 minutes, and there are 2 users, and the average load has been 0.05 or 0.06, which is really low. So just to know more about it, we can read more about it by using man command, and we will see this is how it looks like. So it tells you for how long the system has been running, and then we can see for how long the system has been running, how many users are currently logged on, the system load average for past 1/5/15 minutes. Hi, welcome to a Linux tutorial. In this tutorial, we will cover a command called youname. So what does youname command do? So basically it prints out all the system information. So if you want to know what kind of system you are currently on, then you can know about it by using youname command. So let's start with reading the manual page of youname command. So we'll just type man space youname, and it will print out all the information. So youname, well, basically what it does is it prints out all the system information. So if you will use any option, just like -a, then it will print out all the information, which will contain kernel's name, network node host name, kernel release, kernel version, machine hardware name, processor it's currently on, then hardware platform it's currently running on, then the operating system it's currently using. So just start doing it. We'll just use command one by one. So we'll just start with kernel name. So as it says, the kernel is Linux. Then kernel release, which will be youname space -r, and it says 3.5.0-23 hyphens generic. So this is the current Linux version, the version which this particular operating system is running on. So if you want to know the network host name, or yeah, so just type n. It says being skilled, which is the host name. Then if you want to know the kernel release, we already did, then kernel version. So it's very specific that the release was released on January 25th at that particular time in year 2013. So it's not that old. Now if you want to know more about machine, then we will just type -m, and it says i686, which is basically a processor's version or type. If you want to know about the processor type, it's again the architecture is i686, which is essentially a 32-bit processor. So the operating system itself is 32-bit. Then we'll just type I, it says 386, and if you want to know about the operating system, we will type -o, it says GNU-i Linux. So Linux itself is not an operating system, but GNU/Linux is, because Linux clubbed with all other utilities which are having GNU license makes it a operating system. So to sum up all, we can just type youname separated by hyphen and a, and it will show complete details about the system. So host name, kernel release, kernel version, when the kernel was released on, then the processor it's currently working, the architecture it's using, the operating system's name. So if you want to know entire thing about any Unix or Linux based operating system, then youname is the command which you should use. Hi, in this video we will understand what does whoami command do. So when you are using any Linux or Unix system, and there might be chances that you want to know the username of the current user, so you can just type whoami and it will show you the name of the user. So that is one way of knowing it.
Second is, if you will open the terminal, just before the at the rate there is the username, while post at the rate there is the host name. So it's just that you can use any of these to identify. Hi, in this video we will discuss what does df command do. So df command is primarily for knowing more about the file systems this operating system has. So let's start doing it. So df will show us all the file systems which are available in the system. So we can see slash d dev slash st1, which is mounted on root. Then we have udev, which is mounted on slash dev. Then temporary file system, which is on mounted on slash run. So here we can see the command is displaying in terms of blocks. So in case we want to make it understood easily, then we will use -h, and it will show the sizes in MBs and gigabytes, which are understood quite easily. Now if you want to know what is the total space available, then we will use $total. So it will list all the file systems, active file systems, and then the total size of the partition or the hard disk. So it says the total size is 8.3 gigabytes, used is 2.6, available is 5.4, 33% is currently used. So if you want to see all the file systems including the dummy ones, then we will add -a to it. So it will show us the dummy file systems as well, which are not having any size. It's just that it's for the informational purpose. If you want to know more about df command, then we will just read the manual page. Here we can see the options available. By default it shows in blocks, then the grand total. Human readable changes the blocks into megabytes, gigabytes format. -i will show the inode information. So these were the major options which we discussed, and the final output will look like this. There might be times when you want to know about memory resources, and for that we use cat space /proc/meminfo. So what it does is it displays you very minute details about the memory resources available in your system. So let's press enter and see what it has. So we can see the total memory this system has, then what kind of memory is free, which is 45 MB. Then we can see very interesting thing, which is swap. So we have about 522 megabytes of swap, out of which 494 MB is currently free. These four are very frequently used, which is swap total, swap free, mem total, mem free. Or unless you are doing some research on memory, you might want to refer to these kind of information, or else mem total, mem free, swaps.
total swap free will suffice your the needs.